Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so repeat after me. Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Put it all together. Shabbat Shalom. Also means, hey, y'all, how you doing? Not really, but yeah, that's close. All right, welcome. We are so happy that you all are here for this wonderful Shabbat morning. A Shabbat morning that is filled with such joy. Ooh, you guys are gonna, you're throwing me off. You're going on this side. No, you could be on whatever side you want. Where I like it. Mandy, mixing things up. Who knew? That's awesome. Thank you. So yeah, wherever they are in the front row, it's all good. Nope, you're in the right place. It's all good. You know why I know you're in the right place? Because you're here. There you go. So I'm Rabbi Heidi Cohen. I know that there's a lot of our guests who are here. And the gentleman to my right, on your left, is?
I'm Cantor David Runmold.
So we will be the clergy for this Shabbat morning service. And we are celebrating with and honored to have joining on our bima, Hannah. Mazel tov. So we're going to go ahead and just a couple of quick things before we're going to warm up our voices. Number one, if you have a cell phone or anything like that, turn it off. Okay, so just turn it off, put it away, unless you are a doctor who needs to be on call. Otherwise, disconnect so we can connect in here. But we do welcome those who are streaming into our services. Shabbat Shalom, welcome, and make yourselves at home as well, wherever you are. We're glad that you're able to be a part of our congregation. Also, this is not a performance. Hannah is leading us in Shabbat morning worship and also our holiday, our festival of Sukkot. So she is going to be leading us in worship, which means, I know we got a lot of theater people here, don't we? Yeah. We're not going to applaud. All right, so we don't applaud during services, but we do say, there's a couple of words that we can say, which is Yasher Koach. So repeat after me, Yasher.
Yasher.
Koach.
Koach.
So we put that together, Yasher Koach, so yeah, so like when she reads Torah later on, or she gives her Dvar Torah, her teaching, also known as a speech, we can go Yasher Koach. But later on you can applaud like crazy at the celebration later. But for now, this is about worship. This is about our connecting with God, with the divine, with ourselves, with each other. And so in order for us to kind of start to do that and allow ourselves to be present in this moment, we're going to warm up our voices. So Cantor, please.
This melody is called a nigun, and a nigun is a melody that has no specific words. We just sing on the syllables yelalai, so we can focus on how the music makes us feel as we warm up our mind, body, spirit, and voice. So please join in as we sing with a smile. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
books are wonderful opportunities for leading our worship is going to be with our prayer books that we have. So let me kind of back up really quick and say to those of you who this is your first time here, welcome. We want to guide you through what's going to be happening throughout our service so that you can be participating in it as well. So throughout the service, we're going to join together with the cantor. We're going to sing. We're going to do some reading together. And so with that, the first thing you need are your prayer books. And you have found them. Awesome. Under the first row and right in front of you. Perfect. Now, Hannah's friends, what do you guys notice about these books versus any other book? They're backwards, exactly. It's all a matter of perspective. Because Hebrew actually is read not from left to right, like with English, but it's read from right to left, which means that our books open the opposite direction. Because Hebrew, so with reading it the opposite way, we're going to open it the opposite way that we would an English book. Now, what's really great is that if you open to any page, just open up to the middle of the book somewhere, and you're going to find some Hebrew there, wherever you turn to. You're going to notice that the Hebrew letters are in the columns on the right-hand side of the page, and on the left-hand column is what's called transliteration. Transliteration is how, I'm going to borrow that. Transliteration is how we read the Hebrew using English letters. So if you want to be able to sound out the Hebrew words and you don't know how to read Hebrew, we have the transliteration because we want it to be accessible to everybody. So the big ones, anybody else need a large print? So because we do have a few large print ones as well, because we know the print in here is really small. So if you forgot your glasses, don't worry, we have the large print ones as well. But Hannah's prayer book, you're going to notice, is different. First of all, this is part of our weight training program at Temple Beth Shalom. Just kidding. Her prayer book is the entire Mishkan Tefillah, which is the Reform Movement's prayer book, which means that her prayer book contains not only the services for Shabbat, but also for weekdays and for festivals. So there's different types of services that we participate in throughout the entire year. So Hannah has this prayer book, which has all of those in that, which means it's a bigger prayer book. What you all are holding are the prayer books just for Shabbat. So it's a lighter prayer book, but that means page numbers are a little bit different. So if you look in your prayer book and you look at the page numbers at the bottom, the page numbers, you'll see there's two different ones. One's in black, one's in blue. You're going to be following along whenever either myself or the cantor or Hannah tell you what page we're on. Look for the page numbers in the blue. That's going to correspond to Hannah's prayer book. There's also something really cool about Hannah's prayer book that's different than yours. Her prayer book does not have the transliteration. Okay, it has the translations of the words, but not the transliteration, because Hannah has been studying Hebrew for a number of years. And so we're like, yeah, she doesn't need a prayer book with transliteration. So her prayer book has the straight Hebrew there. So here you go, and it's beautifully marked, so you can keep us, you're welcome, so mazel tov. So that way you can keep us where we're supposed to be when we need to be there. Also, you're going to notice that we pray not just with the words in the prayer book, but we also pray with what we wear. So we have the kippah, which reminds us of God's presence all around us, and also the tallit, the prayer shawl, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, because then we also pray with our bodies. So you're going to notice there are going to be moments that we're going to ask the congregation, all of you, to rise. It's a way of showing respect before God. You'll notice there's some choreography. Yes, even Judaism has choreography for our dancers, because our bodies have this wonderful natural rhythm. I'm having way too much fun with you guys today. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So our bodies have a natural rhythm. Our heartbeat is this beautiful natural rhythm that encourages us to move. And some of the choreography you'll notice will be times that we're going to be bowing in humble reverence before God. So don't feel like when you're standing that you have to stand perfectly still like this. Allow your body to breathe and allow it to have that nice rhythm that is within it. So I mentioned earlier about the tallit, the prayer shawl. So we're commanded to wear fringes on the corners of our garment. These are called tzitzit. And the fringes, when we look at them, they are to remind us of the 613 commandments that God has given to us. So that's a lot of commandments. Now, we're asked to study all of the commandments. Now, not all of them we can't fulfill because the temple doesn't exist anymore in Jerusalem. So there's a lot of commandments that we can't do today. But we're asked, how do these commandments and how do our texts, which are over 3,000 years old, how do they relate to our lives today? Well, that's a lifelong journey of learning and growing. But that journey, it began when we're children and when we began religious school, and it's marked today as when, for example, a young man becomes a bar mitzvah, a young adult in the community, and a young woman, as in Hannah, becomes a bat mitzvah. They receive their very first tallit. And I say very first because, Hannah, you can have so many different ones, let me tell you. The most important part about it, though, are the tzitzit. So today, Hannah, we are honored to invite you first to come on up here. Come join me, along with Charlotte Seamus, who is going to come forward and be able to share some words of blessing with you, along with giving you your tallit, your very first prayer shawl. So, no worries. Yep, come right up here. I'll get it, don't worry. I'll get it, no worries. There you go, sure. Hey, de rien. Here we are. Right here, come on, nice and close, right there.
Okay,
Merci.
that's for me?
That is for you.
Okay. That's for you. My darling Hannah, the day you were born was one of the happiest of my life. When you were just learning to talk, I was trying to teach you some French words. It was a thrill to hear you repeating them so perfectly. You were so willing, and even then, you realized you were giving me pleasure. As you were growing up, even as a little girl, it was so good to see your kindness, your compassion, in understanding, your curiosity about all things, your desire to learn, your thoughtfulness, making sure you were not hurting anyone's feelings. I remember your birthday party when you were 6 years old. You ran over to each of your guests as they were arriving and thanking them and telling them how happy you were that they came. You have the kindest of heart. You are a delight, and I'm so very proud of you. Je t'aime beaucoup, ma chérie. So I'm supposed to give you that? Okay, and now I can go back to my seat.
1 second, yeah. 1 moment. There you go, Hannah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lihitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal soul of the universe, who makes us holy through the mitzvot and commands us in the wearing of the fringes on the corners of our garment. Merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir. Merci. Okay, can I go sit there? Thank you.
I'm going to help you. As we give thanks to so many of our blessings, we turn to page 186, Modeh Moda Ani. Moda Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechezarta Nishmati behemla, lehemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha, Moda ani lefanecha, Melech chai v'kayam, Binishmati behemla. Hannah's classmates from Temple Beth Shalom. Come on forward, guys, with your prayer books. Max as well. Beautiful. We're going to turn to page 198. And Hannah, if you want to come join them, of course. Page 198 for our Nisim B'chol Yom, our morning blessings. And our students, okay, here you go. Guys, ready? This way. Keep coming close. There you go. You gather around here. Perfect. So what our students do is they lead us in the first couple of lines in the Hebrew, and then we continue with the line in English. And so you'll start to see the rhythm. Feel free to join along with our students with these morning blessings. Page 198. You may return to your seats. And actually, Hannah, if you'll stay with me, please. As we turn now in our prayer books to page 224 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ולמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון וחיי כל בית ישראל בהגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו.
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם לעולמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשם בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן מהלמה במהרו.
Amen. We turn to page 226. Please rise for Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yai na nai 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 nai. Yai na nai 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 nai. Yai nai 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 nai. Yai nai 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 nai. Yai na nai 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 nai. Yai nai 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 nai. Yai nai 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 nai. Yai nai 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 nai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei choshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hama'ir la'aretz, v'ladarim aleha v'rachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Marabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechochma asita. Mal'aha aretz kinyanecha titbarech Adonai Eloheinu, al shevat me'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'oreh or she'asita, ufaruch hasela.
Or Chadash, Al Tzion Tahir, 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 V'nizker kulanu במהרה להורו ונזכה כולנו מהרה להורו אור חדש על ציון תאיר אור חדש על ציון תאיר
Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMe'orot. Please join me on page 231. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us toward our destiny by hard events, and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, Habocher ba'amo Israel ba'ahava.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue chanting together the Haftarah on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha ve'chol levavcha uve'chol nafshecha uve'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשופטך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אליכם.
We continue on page 240, singing Micha Mocha.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehega b'kodesh, Torah tehilot osei felech. Torah tehilot osei felech. שיר החדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמחה שפתיה מיחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 יה לה 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 לה, יה לה 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 יה לה 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 לה. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאה ישראל.
Amen. Page 242.
Adonai sifati tiftach ufi yagi tehillatcha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Saram, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, ve'Koneh Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonenu Ma'adir Shimecha Bechol Haaretz Baruch
Kevod Adonai Mimikomo.
Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Le'enei Kol Chai Ani Adonai Elohechem
Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Hitzyon, Ledor Vador, Hallelujah.
Ledor Vador Nagigor Lecha Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish Veshivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We join together at the bottom of page 250 as we sing Vishamru. Vishamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam beridolam Vishamru Bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam beridolam Beini ubein bnei Israel Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Veshamru bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam beridolam Ki shishet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Veshamru bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam beridolam Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru bnei Israel et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat Lidorotam beridolam.
We continue on page 252. Eloheinu ve'Elohei, avotenu v'imotenu, retzei bimnuchtenu kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'ten chalkenu b'toratecha, shav'enu mituvecha v'shamchenu b'shuatecha, v'taher libenu le'avadecha be'emet, v'hanchi lenu Adonai Eloheinu, ba'ahava u'veratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'anuchu ba Israel mekadshe shamecha, Baruch ata Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
We continue on page 254. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, be'amecha Israel utfilatem be'ahava tekavel uti ratzon tamid avodat Israel amecha. El koroch lechol korav, penei el avadecha bechonenu, shefoch bruchacha aleinu. Eloheinu ve'Elohei, avotenu v'imotenu, ya'aleh ve'yavo, ve'yizacher zichronenu, ve'zichron kol amecha beit Israel lefanecha. Letova lechein ulchesed ulrachamim lechaim ulshalom bayom chag hasukot hazeh. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu, bo letova.
Amen.
ufokdenu bo levaracha,
Amen.
v'hoshienu bo lechaim,
Amen.
v'techezena einenu beshuvacha letzion berachamim. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachzir shechinato letzion.
Amen.
Please join me on page 257. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach. For the human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai. Hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot.
Hodot. As we continue now on page 258 with Sim Shalom, we invite you to join along with us. Lailai works very well as well. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Teva Chesed V'Rachamim V'Rachamim Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'akol Yisrael Alecha. Orcheinu Yotzreinu Kulanu Ke'echad, Be'or Panecha, Ki Be'or Panecha Notata Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Leva Chesed V'Rachamim V'Rachamim Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'akol Yisrael Alecha. Torah Chaim Ve'ahavat Chesed, Ve'ahavat Chesed, Tzedaka uvracha v'rachamim v'chayim v'shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, leva chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol Yisrael alecha.
V'tol me'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael
בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שים שלום, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו, והכל ישראל, והכל ישראל עליך.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
We continue in silent meditation.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן, ואמרו אמן.
So this Shabbat is very special and unique, not just because we are celebrating Hannah becoming Bat Mitzvah, but also because this Shabbat is right in the middle of this wonderful holy day called Sukkot. Some of you might know it also as the name Tabernacles. And so this is part of our High Holy Day season. So we are still in the midst of our High Holy Days, which began with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and then Yom Kippur, our Day of Atonement, which was last week, then moved right into Sukkot, which lasts for a week, for 7 days, and then concludes with a holiday called Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah literally means the joy, the celebration of Torah. It's when we finish reading the Torah, but immediately start all over again. And so what I'm going to share with you is a couple things, one about Sukkot and the other about Torah. So Sukkot is that time of year where we are reminded of the blessings of our journey from slavery to freedom, from Egypt to Israel. As the Israelites were leaving Egypt, they didn't have much that they could carry with them, and they couldn't take their apartments with them, they couldn't take their houses with them, but they carried with them Sukkot, these portable tents that as they were wandering through the desert for 40 years, they lived in these temporary structures. So that way they could pack them up, they could fold them up, and then march and continue on their journey, which took them, took them 40 years to get to Israel. But they were meant to be temporary dwelling places. Well, these Sukkot then moved into a holiday called Sukkot, in which we celebrate the fall harvest. Judaism is based on the lunar calendar, on the calendar of the moon, but it's also based on the harvests. So the harvest of the fall, the spring, and the summer. So Sukkot, which is right now, then the spring, which will be Passover or Pesach, and then Shavuot, which is 7 weeks later, in which we celebrate the receiving of Torah, but that's summer harvest. Now, we always have to keep our holidays in the same season, which means if we're on a lunar calendar, which is shorter than the solar calendar, we have corrections. We create leap years to keep everything in the right season. But you might notice, for example, that I'll throw out there Hanukkah. Hanukkah moves during the month of December. It's never at the exact same time. It's a little bit fluid, but because we have these leap years, it keeps us in the right season. So Sukkot, because it's the fall harvest, if you noticed a couple of days ago, did anybody see the moon? It was that big harvest moon, right? It was that full moon. Well, the reason why all of our harvest festivals, they fall in the middle of the lunar month, which happens to be a full moon. And why is that? It's so that way we can then have enough light to continue to harvest at night, because you have beautiful light out there that God gives to us of the moon. And also, it gives us a way to see our way back to a place to rest during the harvest. Ancient times, our land, if you were a farmer, your land wasn't just a little tiny plot of land. Your land was huge. And when you went to harvest it, it would be hard to walk all the way out to where you're harvesting, and then at night, walk all the way back home. You would waste way too much time. So instead, what we would do is we would build these Sukkot, these temporary structures, in the middle of our fields, so that way we could be close to wherever it was that we were harvesting, so we could rest and then continue the next day. So that's the holiday of Sukkot, is this idea of celebrating this fall harvest. Well, what does that have to do with Torah? Well, in Torah, we talk about Sukkot. And we talk about also all of the different times of celebration. Today, because we are in the middle of the holiday of Sukkot, which is 7 days long, we have what's called Chol HaMoed, kind of all of the times of our seasons of joy. And it's the middle days in between from the first day and the last day. So there are different Torah portions that we read. Today, especially those of you from Temple Beth Sholom, this is going to be a unique experience because we don't see it that often, except when we have B'nai Mitzvah that fall at this time. We're going to be reading from 2 Torah scrolls. So we're going to do a little bit of Torah juggling today, unlike what you've seen before, where we're going to start in one Torah scroll, in which we are going to be reading from the book of Leviticus that talks about, directs us, gives us the commandments for celebrating this holiday of Sukkot along with Passover and Shavuot. And then we're going to switch Torah scrolls for when Hannah will be reading her maftir to the book of Exodus. So instead of our sitting here going, scroll, 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 move, 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 we're very lucky that we have multiple Torah scrolls. So we've set 2 of our scrolls, one for Leviticus and the other for Exodus. And so you'll have a chance to, in a few moments as well, especially Hannah's friends and those who have never seen a Torah up close or it's been a while, after we begin our Torah service, we'll invite you to come forward so you can look at the Torah up close and personal and see how it's made and how it's written, because it's all handwritten, and to be able to celebrate and everybody kind of know, oh, okay, this is Torah. The first 5 books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and that they are really wonderful and sweet and so much to learn from. So with that, we are going to begin our Torah service on page 362. So I invite you in your prayer books to turn to page 362 as we begin this wonderful celebration of Torah.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kima'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch, Le'olam va'ed, Adonai oz lamo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
So throughout our Torah service today, we're going to have a number of people who are going to be celebrating with us with blessings and honors. And so it is my honor at this time to call forward to stand right here on the floor in front of our bima, as we're going to be passing Torah from one generation to the next. So you're going to put your prayer books down. Are going to be Charlotte Seamus, and then along with Joel and Mandy. The 3 of you will go right down here. And Hannah, you as well, right here, my dear. And Ariel Kotkin, you're going to stay right where you are, Hannah's sister, because you're going to help us later on with holding the garments of Torah, and then later on holding Torah. So I want to acknowledge you. And finally, I want to invite forward for opening our ark doors, Louise Wendling and Morris Seamus, along with Leon Grobe, to please come forward to help us open our ark doors. And as we do so, I invite everyone to please rise. Come on up.
Av harachamim, hetiv avitzoncha, את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך רם ונישא, אדון עולמים.
Page 364, Ki Mitzion.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים.
In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. Page 366.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Uneromima Shemo Yachdav.
And our Torah, I was going to go into Lecha Adonai. However, I want to take this Torah scroll, and especially this one. This is not one that we will read from today, but this Torah scroll is extremely important. This Torah scroll is over 275 years old, and actually there's a few panels in here that are over 300 years old. Yeah, this Torah scroll has seen so many different generations, and it has been a part also of the tragic life of the Jewish people as well. For this Torah scroll comes from Czechoslovakia, from a community that was destroyed by the Nazis during World War II. But this Torah scroll survived, as with hundreds of other scrolls like it. And then these Torah scrolls, after World War II, were then given out in trust to congregations like ours to be a reminder, but also to lift us up and reminding us that, yes, there are times in our history that are tragic. There are times in our history where the Jewish people have tried to destroy us, but at the same time, the Jewish people have persevered. The Jewish people are strong. Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people shall always live. This Torah scroll is a reminder from generation to generation that we should never forget our history, but also to remember how strong we are. And it is through that strength of generation to generation that, Charlotte, you have been a student of Torah and a teacher of Torah. And you have passed it on to the next generation. And Joel, you have embraced Torah in your heart, in your arms, and within your entire self and being. And together, you and Mandy, you have been these lovers of Torah, knowing the importance of it and the beauty of it, and also how wonderful a gift it is to pass it on to your children. Today, you pass it on to Hannah. So Hannah, we give you this gift. This is yours. This Torah scroll belongs to you as it belongs to all of us. May its weight keep you rooted in who you are, but may it always lift you up and inspire you. As we get to take these moments now showing honor to Torah, for we don't worship it, but we show honor and we march along the congregation with it, and we remind us, and you remind us, that it belongs to each of us as well. Please lead us in our hakafah.
Lecha Adonai hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'ha'od ki בשמיים ובארץ כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא בכל ראש. שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים.
Ariel? Where did Ariel go? Ariel! Ariel! Take off the cover off this one. Perfect, thank you. And I'm going to hold on to this. Huh? Perfect, excellent. You can head over there, or you can sit right here if you want to see the Torah. Perfect. So before you are seated, if anybody wants to come up and see the Torah up close and personal, feel free. Hannah's friends, come on up. Family, come on up. And you can come see the Torah up close. Excellent. Perfect. So yeah, so you can kind of scooch close to right here. There you go. Perfect. All right. Hey, guys. We got two more from your class, Sarah and Max. Cool, come on up, guys. Excellent, come gather around. I don't bite often or hard. Come on over, excellent. All right, so I'm gonna share with you guys a little bit about the Torah. Ariel, do you think you can hold on to that one too at the same time? Perfect, awesome. Okay, so come closer. Come on. I'm not going to make you do anything, I promise. All right, there we go. Perfect. So rest of you may be seated. Go ahead. So if you're down there, that's okay. You can have a seat. All right, so first of all, because it's a Torah scroll, oh yeah, here, you guys come a little bit closer. Come on. No, I'm kidding. There you go. You can come around. There we go. Come on, from the back. There you are. All right. So a Torah scroll, because it's a scroll, it's hard to, and we can even scooch some people. Why don't you know what? You guys, my class, come over this way, and then they'll allow the people who are over here come around this way. There you go, Sue. That way, scooch over, because I'm watching in the back. They're going, you can't see. Perfect, come on over. There you go. Here you go. You come right over here. Come right close to here. Awesome, come on over. There you are. Okay, so because this is scroll, we need to have it bound together, because if we don't, then it's really flimsy and falls apart, and that's not good. So all of our B'nai Mitzvah students, we go on a retreat, and they make their own Torah binders. And so here is Hannah's Torah binder. Whoops, I had it upside down. There we go. This is Hannah's Torah binder that she made. I'll show you guys too in just a second, don't worry. There you go. Woo! Yay, there you are. Yeah, see? Not only an artist on stage, but also an artist of pen. So the Torah is handwritten, and it's handwritten the exact same way that it's been written for, close to 3,000 years. Now there's a law that says that one of the last commandments says, you need to write your own Torah scroll, and you can't change it. It has to be written exactly as it's always been written. So therefore, a scribe is going to sit down with either another Torah scroll next to him or her, or what's called a tikkun, which is a book that has it written out exactly as it's supposed to be written out. And they handwrite this Torah scroll. And actually, if you don't mind holding on to there, you got that around there? Perfect, okay. And so they handwrite the Torah scroll, and they and in every letter has to be exactly as another one. Now, it's written on parchment, which comes from a kosher animal. Kosher animal, my class, go for it. Yes.
Split hooves and choose its cut.
There you go, split hooves and choose its cut. Rachel, did you just say pig was kosher? Okay, yeah, you're coming back to 7th grade, honey. I don't care that you're in 8th grade. I give up. The kashrut class, 2 weeks. All right, so a pig is deceptive because a pig has split hooves, but it doesn't chew its cud. Chewing its cud is a type of digestive process. We're not going to get into that because all of us want to eat lunch later. So therefore, like a sheep, cow, goats, those are all kosher animals. All right, a pig is not, because even though split hooves, doesn't chew its cud. A camel, for example, is not kosher. Even though it chews its cud, it has feet. Those are toes. That's not hooves. So the parchment comes from a kosher animal, and then it's written in sections and columns, and a scribe will sit down with a quill, so with a feather, and ink. Now the ink also has to be all natural, and it comes from different things like berries and tree sap, and it's boiled and cooled and boiled and cooled, and it takes a year to make the ink. And the reason why is because it needs to be permanent. It needs to be able to withstand many, many years and generations. Just as I said earlier, the Torah scroll that Hannah walked around with is over 275 years old, and we can still read from that Torah scroll. The reason why we don't right now is because it's in need of a lot of repair, which actually we're excited we're going to be doing on this Torah scroll. So, but that means it can last that long if we take really good care of it. There's one other ingredient in it, but this Torah scroll is an older scroll as well, so it's not, we can't see it as well, but the last ingredient in the ink is?
Honey.
Yay! And that is, in order, it gives it its shine, gives the letters the shine, but also to remind us that Torah should be sweet as honey on our lips, that it should be, studying Torah, learning Torah should be just a wonderful thing, not something that's sour and yucky and so forth, so that it should be very sweet. So we use what's called a yad, and this is the yad. What does that look like, my friend? There you go, a whole hand. Do you know what a whole hand is? It's about a yad. And yad actually in Hebrew means hand. So we don't take our fingers, when we follow along when we're reading, sometimes we'll follow along with our fingers. We don't want to do that in the Torah scroll because the oil in our fingers mixing with the ink can eventually cause it to break down. So in order to help preserve it, we use the yad, the fingers, this is one time you're allowed to point, to follow along in the reading of the Torah. The other thing that's not in the Torah scroll, vowels and punctuation. So there's no A's, E's, I's, O's, Oo's, any of those sounds, or even any commas or periods or things like that. There are spacings, but that's about it. The reason why was that there was a time when all we spoke was Hebrew. And so if I gave you something to read, in English without any vowels, you would have no problem speaking or reading it in English because you know the language. But with the Hebrew, eventually the Israelites, they moved to all sorts of different countries, started speaking different languages, and lost some of their Hebrew. So in order to make sure that we were pronouncing the words correctly, because if I change the vowels, I can change the meaning of a word. So in order to make sure that we're pronouncing and we're saying the right words, the rabbis created a vowel system. And those are different dots and dashes that we see underneath. If you look on the vowels, on the Hebrew here, you see vowels underneath or in the middle of or on top of the letters, those little dots and dashes. But the number one rule of Torah, you can't change anything. So I can't go in with a pen and put in all the vowels and everything. That wouldn't be right. So instead, what happens is when we're reading Torah, we have somebody, the gabbai, which is usually our cantor, goes ahead and stands next to the person who's reading, and in case they make a mistake and they say the wrong word, which changes the meaning, then he will quietly go ahead and tell them what the correct word is. So that way we read it correctly, and we show honor to the Torah. So now, if a scribe makes a mistake, by the way, in writing a Torah scroll, what happens? What's the first thing that he could possibly do?
Take it off, like scrape it off.
Exactly. He or she can try to scrape it off, but if they can't, then what happens? You got to start all over again. Not the entire scroll, don't worry. Just that one sheet, which would be really a bummer if you're at the end of the sheet right there, you make a mistake, and you're like, oh, nuts, got to start all over again. So that's a little bit of the basics of Torah. Any questions? Any answers? No? Yes, go for it. So it's from the animal, from the skin of the animal, and so it's been scraped and stretched and created as parchment, and then it's sewn together with sinew, so which is from the muscle of the animal, and then there's pieces of tape that's made from the parchment, and then all natural. So everything has to be natural with the Torah scroll. And so we had a fire here a few years ago, in which our Torah scrolls, while the flames were contained to the kitchen area, the heat and also the removing then of the oxygen in the room then caused a problem with the Torah scroll, with that the ink doesn't seep into the paper. Like, you guys have pens and it soaks into the paper. It doesn't soak into the parchment. So literally the letters sit on top of the parchment. Well, when a scribe came and checked our Torah scrolls, he was able to literally flick whole letters off of the Torah scroll because the moisture was taken out of the Torah, out of the parchment. And so a few of our scrolls have already been repaired. We have 2 more that we need to repair. And then, of course, our check scroll, that's a whole other story, which I'm really excited about, that we'll be sharing with in the months ahead. And so that's what happens with the letters. Now, the other part, too, is that the letters, although this one's kind of hard, because, again, this is an older one, the scroll on the parchment itself, the scribe will actually etch out lines in order to make sure that he or she writes in straight lines. I don't know about you guys, but if I try to write on a blank piece of paper, so, or that way, it depends. And also going vertically as well to keep the columns totally straight. Well, you can't see it as clearly on this scroll, but the letters actually hang from the lines instead of sitting on the lines. They hang from it. And there's a beautiful midrash, which is a story, that reminds us that the lines actually represent the division between heaven and earth. And that whole idea of how do we, as people, how do we become more holy, more sacred, and kind of connect ourselves more to the divine, to God? And that's by reaching up to where that place is. And so, therefore, the letters hang from the line instead of sitting on the line. So, great. Anything from out there? You're good? Guys, did I miss anything? Whew, good. All right. It's a good crowd here, to remind me. All right. Well, thank you all very much. You may return to your seats. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Ariel, thank you so much. I'm going to take that right there. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Nope, I need you to go ahead and hold that for a few minutes. So if you want to go have a seat right next to Sylvan right there. Sylvan's holding our other Torah scroll. And so, like I said, we're going to be reading from 2 Torah scrolls. And right now we're reading from our Torah scroll of Leviticus. And so we have ourselves set here with our first Aliyah for our first reading of Torah. Okay, Cantor.
For our first Aliyah, chanting the blessing, Ron Gertz, Chaim Ruvain ben Yaakov Shimon, and Christina Gertz, Hadassah bat Avraham Visara. Reading the English translation, Mark Kotkin, Maccabi ben Sheldon V'yechi. Ya'amdu l'Aliyah harishona.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Sorry, I had somewhere else. Sorry about that.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael lemor. ב15 יום לחודש השביעי הזה, חג הסוכות, 7 ימים לאדוני. ביום הראשון מקרא קודש, כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו. 7 ימים תקריבו אישה לאדוני. ביום השמיני מקרא קודש יהיה לכם, והקרבתם אישה לאדוני עצרת היא. כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו.
We're going to go ahead and do the English first. No, just Mark first. Here we go. We'll let him do the English first. Yeah.
Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the Israelites, on the 15th day of the 7th month there shall be a festival of booths for Adonai for 7 days. The first day shall be sacred occasion. You shall not work at your occupations. For 7 days you will bring fire offerings to Adonai. On the 8th day you will observe a sacred occasion and bring an offering by fire to Adonai. It is a solemn gathering. You shall do no labor at your occupations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'kayei olam natan b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Yasher koach. Thank you. For our second Aliyah, chanting the blessing, Mira Gertz, Mira bat Chaim Ruvain v'Hadassah, Sarah Gertz, Sarah bat Chaim Ruvain v'Hadassah, and Hannah Giladi, Hannah bat Amir. Reading Torah, Amir Giladi, Amir ben Eliezer v'Rachel, and Nicole Giladi, Nira bat Michael v'Sarah. Reading the English translation, Linda Sheamus, Rivka Etel, bat Hirsch v'Nechuma. Ya'amdu l'Aliyah hashenit.
She's bringing Abba, huh? Perfect. There we go. She would say it as well to the first word. That's okay. I'll share, I'm sure. Okay. You go ahead.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim Venatan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Did you not know?
No, I didn't know.
Oh.
We can take
Here we
it.
go. There we go. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Here was it. Okay, cool. Ele moadei Adonai asher tikra'u otem mikrae kodesh lahakriv isha ladonai ola umincha zvach unsachim davar yom b'yamo milvad Shabbatot Adonai umilvad matnotechem ומלבד כל נדרוכם ומלבד כל נדבותיכם אשר תיתנו לאדוני. There we go. All right, so we're going to let you do the English now.
This?
Yes, please.
Okay. Those are the set times of Adonai, which you shall celebrate as sacred occasions. Bring offerings by fire to Adonai, burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifices, and libations. On each day what is proper to it, in addition to the Sabbaths of Adonai, and apart from your gifts, and from all your votive offerings, and from your free will offerings that you give to Adonai. Thank you.
And then if you'll take a good seat once again, everybody.
Thank you.
Ready, come on.
There you go. You can stay right there for just 1 second. We'll be right there back with you. There you go. Okay. Adonai. There you go. Adonai. Perfect. One more. Scooch in there. There you go. Beautiful. All right. The blessing after. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For our third aliyah, chanting the blessing, Mandy Seamus Kotkin, Mindel Malka, Bat Hirsch Vinachuma, and Joel Kotkin, Yoel Ben Sheldon V'yechi. Reading from Torah, Hannah Kotkin, and reading the English translation will be Joel Kotkin.
Joel, if you'll take your seats. And Yep. And touch and kiss. There you go. Perfect.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Your amen.
Amen. Ach, b'chamisha asar yom lachodesh hashvi'i be'ospechem et tevuat ha'aretz tachogu et chag Adonai shivat yamim bayom harishon Shabbaton uvayom hashmini Shabbaton ukachtem lachem bayom harishon peri et hadar kapot temarim va'anach et Avod ve'arve nachal usmachtem lifnei Adonai Elohechem shivat yamim vechagotem oto chag ladonai shivat yamim bashana chukat olam ledorotechem b'chodesh hashvi'i tachogu oto.
Mark on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the yield of your land, you shall observe the festival of Adonai to last 7 days, a complete rest on the first day, a complete rest on the 8th day. On the first day you shall take fruit from the hadar trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of myrtle, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Adonai your God for 7 days. You shall observe it as a festival of Adonai for 7 days in the year. You shall observe it in the 7th month as a law for all time throughout the ages. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hein olam natak pa'toru Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. The two of you stay right here. Hannah, you go back and take a seat over there. Because as I was mentioning earlier, we're going to switch out our Torah scrolls. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this one up. Ariel, will you bring me that Torah cover, please? Perfect. So we'll lift the other Torah scroll afterwards. So Ariel, let's go ahead and cover. No, you're good. There we go. So we're going to cover this. Now, our Torah covers are all white Torah covers right now, because again, we're still in the High Holy Days when we wear all white. And actually, we'll put this on here. Perfect. So come on down here, Ariel. I'm going to borrow your hands one more time. So, Ariel, I'm going to ask you to hold this one for just a second, standing up right here. Perfect. Then I'm going to take this one. And Sylvan, if you will go ahead and take this Torah scroll from Ariel. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Excellent. And you'll have, actually, you know what? I still need your help, because now we need to undress this Torah scroll. Okay, now we did not magically put her binder back on this one. There you go. Perfect. And this will be the scroll that you will hold in a little bit. So I do, please. That will be wonderful. And you'll have a seat right there. Awesome. And we'll be back to you in a few, as we have now our second Torah scroll. Now, earlier, we didn't, with Hannah, you noticed we didn't say her Hebrew name. And so because Hannah was acting as the agent for her parents, because her parents were called for Aliyah to Torah, to fulfill the mitzvah of reading from Torah. But sometimes we like a little help with that, so Hannah was their agent. But now the two of you come a little bit closer over here, because now you get to watch this, as now we get to officially call forward Hannah.
Ta'amud habachura habat mitzvah Chana bat Yoel umindel malka laliyah haTorah.
Take your tzitzit, touch it to the first word. Kiss. There you go. And close. And you know how to do it.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Sheshet yamim tavod, uvayom hashvi'i tishbot, vecharish uvakatsir tishbot, vechag shavuot taseh lecha, bikurei ketzir chitim, vechag hasif tekufat hashana, shalosh pe'amim bashana, Yera'eh kol zechurecha et penei ha'adon Adonai Elohei Israel. Ki yorish goyim mipanecha ve'hirchavti et gevulecha ve'lo yachmod ish et artecha balotcha lera'ot et penei Adonai Elohecha shalosh pe'amim bashana.
Yashakala. Beautiful. Now your English is to your left. There you go.
6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall cease from labor. You shall cease from labor even at plowing time and harvest time. You shall observe the Feast of Weeks, of the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the Feast of Ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the eternal God of Israel. I will drive out nations from your path and enlarge your territory. No one will covet your land when you go up to appear before eternal your God 3 times a year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. Mazel tov. To go to them. There you go. Sharing that joy with mom and dad. Excellent. Beautiful. So Joel and Mandy, the two of you may go ahead and return to your seats as we just take a moment for a Misheberach, a prayer for healing for all of those who are in need of healing of mind and body and of spirit. And especially within our world today, there is definitely a need for healing for those who are still recovering after the hurricanes from Houston to Florida and Puerto Rico, to also those who are desperately in need of healing after last week's tragedy in Las Vegas. We offer this blessing for them and for anybody who you are thinking about, any of your family, your friends, people within your community. Even sometimes we forget that as we're offering up blessings for those who are in need of healing, that also we too sometimes are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Misheberach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, hu yivarech et hacholim, hakadosh baruch hu yimale rachamim aleihem, lahachil imam urapotam uhachazikam, v'yishlach lehem mehera refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh urefuat haguf, hashta bagala uvizman kariv v'nomar Amen. May God swiftly send to all of those who are in need of healing of mind, body, and spirit. Give each of them a complete renewal of body and of spirit, and let us say, Amen. At this time, now, Ariel, if you will come forward, and then Sylvan, in a few moments, we'll then have Cantor. He will come grab that Torah from you. We are going to give honor to our Torah as I invite everyone to please rise.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la,
Place it on
ya
here.
la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Ariel, actually, go ahead and have a seat in the middle. I apologize. Actually, I need you to return that to Sylvan, please. I'm sorry, because actually we're going to do Haftarah first. Sylvan, have a seat again. There you go. And Ariel, we're going to give you this Torah scroll to hold on to. There you are. Here you go. Sorry about that, Cantor. There you go. I'll take that back from you. Sylvan, if you don't mind, go ahead and keep that for a little bit. You're doing great. Please be seated as we continue now with our Haftarah that Hannah will lead us in. Excuse me real quick, sweetheart. I'm going to grab that. Thanks.
The Megillah reading for Shabbat Chol HaMoed Sukkot is Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim v'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'V'Yisrael amo uvinviei ha'emet v'tzedek. L'chol zeman ve'et lechol chayfetz tachat hashamayim, et laledet ve'et lamut, et latat ve'et lakor natua, et laharok ve'et lirfo, eight leaf roads, ve'eight leave note, eight leaf coat, ve'eight lischok, eight sephod, ve'eight rekod, eight lehashlich avanim, ve'eight kenos avanim, eight lechavok, ve'eight lichrok mechabek, eight levakesh, ve'eight le'aved, eight lishmor ve'eight lehashlich, eight likroa ve'eight litfor, eight lehasot ve'eight ledaber, eight le'ehov ve'eight lisno, eight milchama ve'eight shalom. A season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time for being born and a time for dying, a time for planting and a time for uprooting the planted, a time for slaying and a time for healing, a time for tearing down and a time for building up, a time for weeping and a time for laughing, a time for wailing and a time for dancing, a time for throwing stones and a time for gathering stones, a time for embracing and a time for shunning embraces, a time for seeking and a time for losing, a time for keeping and a time for discarding, a time for ripping and a time for sewing, a time for silence and a time for speaking, a time for loving and a time for hating, a time for war and a time for peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el haneman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaver umekayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechavod uletifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu אנחנו modim lach umevarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Yashakah. Are you breathing?
Yeah, I'm breathing now.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because now I'm going to return the Torahs to the
Okay,
ark.
yeah,
I think I think that's a pretty good idea. So we're going to turn now to page 374. Ariel, thank you so much. Sylvan, thank you. We invite everyone to please rise as we return our Torahs to the ark. Ariel, actually, I'm going to borrow you again and come on up and join us. So thank you. Hannah, Ariel, please open up the ark doors.
הודו על הארץ ושמיים, וירן קרן לעמו, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה, הללויה. לכך טוב נתתי לכם תורתי, אל תעזובו. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובם. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם.
Good. I like that
So
attitude.
do I, like, every time I finish it, I put it? Okay.
What's that mean?
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
I love food. And I'm guessing you do too. I mean, picture this. Raisin canes, chicken tenders, steaming, and practically glowing with their deliciousness. And the most delicious fries, crinkled to perfection. Perfectly buttered Texas toast. Yeah, I like food. Speaking of food, this week's Torah portion focuses largely around celebrations that involve food. Today, it is Chol HaMoed Sukkot, or the middle of Sukkot, the festival of booths. In this portion, we read about the three harvest festivals, Shavuot, Pesach, or Passover, and Sukkot. This portion teaches us to be thankful for the harvest and to praise and honor God for the food that we eat. We also have to respect those who bring us food. This summer, at Camp Sholom, we took a trip to Tanaka Farms. While we were there, I noticed how hard the work was on the farm. We don't often think about the hours of work it took to produce fruits and vegetables, often in the heat of day. Normally, we go to the store and buy a bag of apples, and we don't really think about the work that goes into that one bag of apples. This Torah portion and holiday reminds us how important it is to have joy in our lives. Today, it's not just the food on the table, but the less tangible rewards. Something that makes me joyful is my new school. My journey to OSHA has been a long and hard one, but I'm super glad that I have this wonderful opportunity. The work that I have done has become my harvest. A plant needs water, sun, soil, and love, as well as care. I can compare this to acting. In order to be an actress, I need talent, hard work, dedication, and love, support, and sacrifice from my parents. Take a minute to close your eyes and think about your harvest. Was it getting a 4.0 GPA, doing great in sports, or just being yourself? Everyone has a harvest inside of them. And to see how huge my love for the arts has grown, it's just amazing. For me, the opportunity to go to theater and learn about acting is a harvest of my own interests. I am blessed by the school and what it teaches me about my craft. And rejoicing God's bounty and praising Him is essential to being a Jew, and it's important to me. I don't know about you guys, but joy is a pretty big part of me and my family's life. Something that really brings me joy is my dog, Roxy. It's kind of funny because my big sister Ariel was the one who wanted a dog in the first place. But when she left for Arizona, I found myself getting more and more lonely. It's been really sad not having my sister here because I love her so much. She might be my sister, but she is also my best friend. So I started spending a bunch of time with my dog, and now Roxy brings me joy every day. Roxy was lucky. She got put in a pound and got picked to be in a foster home. As soon as we saw her, we knew she was the one for us. Some dogs aren't so lucky. Some dogs spend the rest of their lives in pounds. Sometimes I wish I could adopt every single animal that is in a pound, but I can't. But I can do whatever I can to make dogs feel happy while spending time at the shelters. My mitzvah project was to collect things needed for OC animal rescue, such as kitchen towels to make toys, blankets, and pillowcases. They may not be Jewish, but they love to eat too. Although they don't praise God for it, they are grateful to those who take care of them. Anyways, I loved meeting new puppies, kittens, and bunnies, as well as knowing that I made a difference. To me, this is all part of taking into account all creation. Our obligations define how we use the time God has given us. This week's Haftarah from Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a time for everything, a time to be born and a time to die, a time for planting and a time for harvesting. It's important for us to be aware of all these times and to pay attention to how the world is changing with the seasons, something our ancestors would have experienced. Of course, some changes are relatively new, like our access and use of media. And just as the world is changing, I too am changing as I become a bat mitzvah. In the next stage of my Jewish life, I'm going to continue being the best Jew I can possibly be. I am doing the Madrachim student aid program at Temple because I want to help children understand their religion and have the same experience that I got. I am also going to keep nurturing my religion and learning more about Judaism. But my gratitude is not just for God. There are many people I'm grateful to for helping celebrate this moment. First, thanks to my aunts and uncles, Uncle Mark, Aunt Pam, Auntie Linda, Uncle Leon, Uncle Momo, and Auntie Lulu. Thank you all to all our family friends for coming out and sharing this big day with me. Thank you to Cantor for teaching me so much and not getting mad when I go way off topic. I love that we both have a passion for the arts, and you laugh at things that I say, even when they are not funny. To Rabbi, thank you so much for not only being a great rabbi, but also being a great personal shopper. Also, you have an amazing taste in food. Thank you to Meme, my grandma, who supports me in everything I do, and Grammy, who is watching the live stream right now. Thank you to my friends from Temple who were able to make it. I've enjoyed learning about Judaism with you guys. Thank you to my Suzical family. You have been so supportive of me while preparing for my bat mitzvah. Thank you to my CV, LA, OSHA, and Ramah friends for coming out and sharing this special day with me. Thank you to everybody who is watching the live stream right now. Thank you to Aya, my beautiful sister. I love you so much, you don't even know. And of course, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much for your constant support and countless hours of arguing about studying for my bat mitzvah. But you supported me all the way. After all, look how this turned out. So it was all worth it. Okay, guys, we did it. We survived my bat mitzvah service. After all this labor and hard work. Okay, I won't be talking for that long because I'm hungry after all this talk of food. We'll eat in a few. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, but you're not done yet. Yeah, no, don't get too excited yet, because there's still a little bit more to go. We get the blessings now of your parents to come and share with us. Mandy and Joel.
As you can imagine, you'll be seeing more of her on stage and screen. We're very proud to stand with you, Hannah. I know this is not something you expect from parents to be proud of their daughters, but we are. I think my personal opinion is she's very unique and an exceptional person. And there are three things I want to just go through very quickly that I think make Hannah so special. One is she has a tremendous amount of charisma. She has character and she has compassion. So the first thing I think that makes Hannah so unusual is her charisma. The great sociologist Max Weber defines this as a certain quality of an individual personality by virtue of which they are considered extraordinary. People with charisma, he wrote, are people with exceptional powers or qualities. So I think Gal Gadot has something to worry about in the long run. Charisma is a God-given gift, and it's up to you to decide how to use that gift. That's why it is such a good thing that even more than charisma, you also have character. This suggests that this great gift will be used for good. Those who have seen her work in plays can see this. You're not a diva, at least most of the time, and you work to help other actors with their lines since you have a remarkable ability to memorize your own. With Hannah, it's always first and foremost about the show, and those of us who've been in the entertainment business really appreciate that kind of attitude. Your character also helps you with acting because to be a good actor, you have to empathize with other people. Character also means strength, and she's shown this over and over again. We took her about 2.5 years ago from Los Angeles and a school where she had many friends to the forbidding wastelands of Orange County. She went to Villa Park Elementary, a very different place from her old Jewish day school, and she adjusted very well. Next year, she went to Sarah Villa, acted in the play, and continued to make friends, many of whom have joined us this morning. Now you're starting another adventure, entering the Orange County School of the Arts. This is not something that we really pushed, but she wanted it, even if it meant leaving her old school at CV. But here you are at OSHA, thriving and making new friends. And look, how many 13-year-olds can have friends from 3 schools as well from Camp Ramah attending her bat mitzvah? This is a testament both to your character and, of course, your charisma. But last, and certainly most important, is compassion. You sympathize with what others are doing. You are always concerned about our health, how your sister is feeling, and what the latest news from Roxy the dog. You feel a deep connection and desire to please your grandmas, your aunts, your uncles, as well as your friends. Your mitzvah project, which is to bring blankets and toys to dogs in the pound, is typical of you. In every way, you make us proud to be your parents. But you are not just our special treasure. You possess a personality and a talent that lights up the world. You're already...
Do you want me to read it?
No. You are already on your way to being a young woman. You have been tested, and you continue to make new friends, and with your charisma, you are certain to make yourself felt in this world for decades to come. Your mother and I are very proud to call you daughter.
All right, here comes the waterworks.
I'm not going to cry.
You're already crying.
My dear Hannah, when you were about 5 years old, I bought a copy of a book that Zena recommended, which was How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, which is a wonderful parenting book. It was sitting on the kitchen counter, and at some point shortly after I bought it, I reprimanded you for something, and you got very angry with me. I read your book, Mommy, and that's not how you do it, you said.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that episode conveys a little of life with Hannah. You have a strong sense of right and wrong, and you're not afraid to voice your opinion. And you also have an understanding which goes far beyond your years. How do I convey the meaning this day holds for me? You're a product, Hannah, of your dad's family and my family. And they both date back to life in the shtetl in Poland and in Russia. And now I may cry. Where to be a Jew meant enduring hardship and fear. There were, as you know, other instances where Maymay's family endured and your great-grandfather didn't survive. We are so lucky now to have such bounty. And this moment makes me all the more grateful for being alive now in this time in history. But as we celebrate our good fortune, we can't forget the generations that came before us, and without whom would not have created you, sorry. I feel them all around us now, and the love all around us, those who are here and living, and those who have passed on. This tradition to celebrate your becoming a bat mitzvah serves to remind us of our identity and our duty as a Jew. Your becoming a bat mitzvah has tapped something inside of me as well. From our time when you were a baby at Mommy and Me, where I learned Jewish prayers along with you, to spending time in synagogue and at Heschel, your Jewish day school, where I learned more about Jewish customs, to the welcome we received here at this temple when we came 2 years ago, which made us feel really a part of the Jewish community. Your pride and deep understanding of who you are is something that your dad and I have always wanted for you. A sense of your story, a knowledge of where you came from, and your importance in our community. I'm thrilled that you want to continue your Jewish education by participating in youth group and helping the little kids in Sunday school. And Camp Ramah has served as a wonderful place to spend a month every summer. I'm so grateful that we are able to celebrate today with our families and friends that we love, and grateful that we are also celebrating the freedom to be Jewish without fear, and to give you the chance to pursue the things that bring you joy, your acting, swimming, a wonderful education, and great, wonderful friendships. I watched you with wonder as you were growing from that feisty little girl into a lovely, but yet still feisty, young woman full of poise and enthusiasm for life's adventures. Still with the same strong opinions, and I wish Grandpa Henry were here to see it. He would be over the moon. The world is your oyster, and I can't wait to see where you go from here. I love you very much.
I've never seen him cry. Where are you going? I don't know where. Stay right there. Perfect. So Hannah, today you become a bat mitzvah, not only with your family and your friends surrounding you, but especially also with your congregational family. And so it is my honor to invite up a few people to offer their blessings to you, and also a few gifts, which I'm going to, I know, there you go.
Such pretty wrapping paper.
See, they go. So it is my honor to call forward, representing our board of directors, Melanie Pollock, representing our sisterhood, our Women of Temple Beth Sholom, Sarah Schweitz, representing our brotherhood, and also thank you very much for being one of our Torah holders today, Sylvan Swartz, and representing your friends and our youth group, Eliana, Shay, and Sarah.
Mazel tov, Hannah. You did an amazing job today. The first time I met you was at Camp Sholom when you got sent home from Camp Ramah because you broke your arm. You weren't very happy and you didn't talk at all. Little did I know I would soon get to know your larger-than-life personality, and that is what draws people to you. I picked out a quote that you always follow. That's being yourself, chasing wherever inspiration goes, even if it's radically different from the thing that people know you as. From the one and only Lin-Manuel Miranda. Once again, Mazel tov, Hannah. And here's a Haftarah candle from the youth group.
Okay. Hannah, we've been friends for a few years now, but to me it feels like forever. The first time I saw you was pretty much the quietest you ever were, and I didn't like that. Today is your special day, and I'm so glad I could be a part of it. I got you this candy, sour Skittles, and it's not offensive, I promise. Okay, because sometimes you're sweet and sometimes you're sour. Don't worry, you're mostly sweet. The colors of the Skittles represent your emotions. Hannah, I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy I could be here with you.
Oh. I get to hug yourselves. Okay, Shay, take it away. Hannah, the years I've known you, you've always been full of energy, which made your bat mitzvah, which made our bat mitzvah class more fun. I'm really happy we're friends, and I wish you a mazel tov. And here is some candy.
Thank you, Jay.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, Hannah. Congratulations and Mazel Tov. Okay, I'm really honored to be here to celebrate with you this. Thank you. This special day. You look exceptionally beautiful today. I love it. I love your dress, your tallit, everything. And I feel really honored, and I'm delighted to be here. I represent the ladies of the Sisterhood of Temple Beth Shalom. And so we're not only proud of you, but I found out a young lady who is so wonderful, so wonderful. This is a day of blessings. You are, my dear, blessed by our Creator with intelligence, good look, a big heart, and as your father said, charisma. And now with all these attributes, I think you have a good foundation for success in life. I hope you continue with your Jewish education, and I hope to see you here when you become confirmed. Continue, and it will be a wonderful experience to dwell more on our Jewish traditions. Okay, this is not the end. This is just, you finish one chapter of your Jewish education, and you're going to start a new one. And now for this wonderful, wonderful occasion, the ladies of the Sisterhood are giving you a wonderful Kiddush cup to use in good health every Shabbat and holidays. And when you become a great actress, you take the Kiddush cup with you wherever you're going in the world, okay? Okay. Okay, my wish for you is this. I hope may you be blessed with abundant good health, happiness, prosperity, and shalom. Mazel tov.
Hannah, Mazel Tov. It was a wonderful performance you did today, although I know it's not technically a performance. But you carry on a very important Jewish tradition, first with this bat mitzvah, and then in the tradition of our beloved King David, who chose to worship God through song and dance, through your theater, which I know you'll carry through for the rest of your life. And on behalf of the temple board, we have a few gifts for you to carry on your Jewish studies and worship. And one is your prayer book that you use today to prep for this special day, and may it bring you answers and blessings throughout your life. We also have a scholarship for a trip to Israel, so you can connect with the land of the Jewish people. And then also to further root you to our land of Israel, we have planted a tree in honor of today's bat mitzvah. And of course, you know that the tree watering day is
Thursday.
Bingo. So mazel tov to you and your family. And congratulations. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Hannah. Hi. Well, it was really a joy to watch you have such a good time with the service today. I don't know, with your dad's talking about charisma, there has to be a stronger word for this girl. You have an ability to take over a room, and when that room happens to be a synagogue, it's incredible. I would suggest you become an assistant rabbi to Rabbi Cohen, But I think with the two of you up here, it'd be more than us old codgers can bear. We'd have to have cots in the back to take a nap. It'd be just too much. But you were just terrific, and I loved being part of this today. And on behalf of the Brotherhood, I'd like to give you this tzedakah box, which traditionally, when I was a kid, we put in nickels and then dimes. Then it got to be dollar bills. And then I recommended people put in checks, the parents, and now with the parents, cash cards. We've got cash cards. It's big enough to hold them. We have to keep getting bigger ones. Anyway, continue with your progress. I think you will. And obviously, you're a terrific girl, and I wish you well, and we're so proud of you at the temple.
Thank you.
You just stay right there. Okay. It's all good. Do you think they can hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Hannah, what an amazing, beautiful Shabbat morning it has been. And I love sharing this energy with you and this wonderful blessing of who you are. It is now our honor, Cantor Reinwald and myself, to be able to offer you our blessings and the blessings of our people. And I want to invite your parents to come up and to join us at the Ark. And if everyone will please rise. Oh, very good. That's okay. I'm just going to take your hands right here for a second. Oh, you're nice and warm. Which makes sense. Because, Hannah, you are truly a warm person. It has been exciting to watch you over these past couple of years grow. I've only known you these past couple of years, but wow. The energy that you bring, the passion that you bring, also the not only charisma, but also the empathy and the care for others. Yeah, we remember that first time that you showed up here and how quiet you were and reserved. Who knew? That didn't last long, I promise you. Because you found your place, and you found your voice, brought it here to us and shared it with us and continue to share it with the world. So thank you. Mom and Dad, thank you. Thank you for bringing her to this place. Thank you for bringing her into our world and into our community and our family. Today, yes, we celebrate Shabbat and Sukkot. As you so beautifully read from Ecclesiastes, there is a season and a time for everything. Hannah, find those times to be joyful, but also times for introspection. Find those times to call out from the highest rooftop all of those things that you believe so strongly for, but also find those quiet moments to listen. Find those times where you get to reach out and celebrate with people and dance with them and be able to share in their joy, but also find those moments where you can quietly sit with a friend in need, hold their hands, and offer them just moments of being you with them to help them find whatever peace or whatever moment they need right then. This week's parasha, which really isn't a part of our week's parshiot, but it helps us conclude our Torah as we go into Simchat Torah next week. It reminds us that we don't end something. Torah never ends. Yeah, we might read the last few sentences and the last word, Yisrael, at the end of Torah, but you know what we do immediately after that? We run from the end of Torah right back to the beginning, which is what we will do on Wednesday night when we unroll that Torah scroll down the entire length of our building. And we'll read that last word, Yisrael, and the first word of, what is the very first word of Torah? Do you remember? It's okay. It's Bereshit. Yeah. And what's really cool, Hannah? Yisrael Bereshit. In the beginning, Israel.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's this cool connection of reminding us that it's a cycle, it's a partnership. Life is a partnership with us as a people, with God, and with our world. Hannah, do me a favor. Remember something. Life continues. Life is a circle. Life is never ending. Remember that there are no endings, there are only beginnings. Enjoy that circle. Enjoy that cycle of life. Enjoy the joyous and happy and loud moments, and enjoy those quiet, introspective moments as well. And may you just remember this moment as a blessing that we get to offer you, blessings that have been passed on one generation to the next, and we are counting on you to pass them on to the next. As we bestow these blessings upon you today, tomorrow, and always. Words of Torah.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and watch over you.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine on you, in you, and through you, and may God be truly gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Hannah, may you always feel God's presence there around you, touching your life, and always giving you a life that is filled with good health, with happiness, but most important of all, a life that is filled with shalom, with peace. Kain yehi ratzon, may this be God's will, and let us say, Amen. Mwah. Mazel tov. As we remain standing and we turn in our prayer books once again to Aleinu L'Shabeach, our closing prayers on page 586 in the middle of the page.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Tekenu L'Yotzer Bereshit, Shelo asanu ki goyei haratzot, V'lo samanu ki mishpechot Adama, Shelo sam chelkenu kahem, V'goralenu kechol hamonam, V'anachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we continue, page 591.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
As we remain standing, as our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, come join me down here. Those whose passing we recall at this time, those who have recently departed our congregational family, Carol Peters, Phyllis Hansberger, Erwin Moskowitz, Miles Farson, and the 59 individuals from Las Vegas whose lives were so tragically taken way too soon. We remember those also whose yard sites we recall on this Shabbat and during this coming week. Olive Bluestein, Samuel Bakarski, Zella Dean Brainin, Max Cherson, Bernie Dubrow, Morris Epstein, Louis Feingold, Sadie Silverman Florman, Aaron Pfluger, Helen Pfluger, Adolph Fraley, Philip Goldstein, Bill Handler, Jeffrey Charles Handler, Ilse Hurst, Leonard Israel, Harold Kahn, Hyman Kaplan, Virgil Kefauver, David B. Keller, Lily Kleiner, Louis Harry Crone, Lou LePan, Ira Craig Malakoff, Betty F. Marshall, Richard Matassarin, Anna Negrin, Milton Nyman, Seymour Omens, Ida Romanek, Jerry Schusterman, Louis Sambita, Richard Silver, Paula Swartz, Harry Towers, Bernie Wasserman, Mark J. Weber, Mamie Weinstein, and Simon Yargota. If there is anyone here who's in the period of mourning of Shiva, Shloshim, or Shana, or is observing a yard site of a loved one whose name I have not called, I invite you as I face in your direction, please share their names with us. For all of them and for all those who have given their lives al Kiddush Hashem, for the sanctification of God's holy name, and for all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we join together on page 598, Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yit Kadal Vit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yotei V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon U'vyomechon U'v'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalau V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach Le'elam U'lomei Almaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei D'kudesha B'reichu, Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush berchata v'nechemata, da'amiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam araba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say together, Amen. Before we conclude with our closing song here at the Bima, just a couple of quick reminders. Following our service, we are going to join together in our living room, which is to your left, where we'll join together for a Kiddish and Motzi in honor of Hannah becoming Bat Mitzvah. There are little cups of grape juice there. Please take one, but please don't drink it yet because we're going to offer a blessing first when we come out there. So we invite you to do that. And I think the table is going to be kind of more toward right over here. So in the meantime, we conclude with a very special song.
Some of you guys might know the melody of this.
Don't give it away. Just a second. It's a very, very special song.
If you need the words, you'll find them on page 625, Adon Olam, right after we do our little opening right here.
Oh, say, Shalom Biromavu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Oh, say, Shalom Biromavu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru Amen. Al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach,
B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra, Ve'ein Nasa, Ve'hefzal kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei, Kidlok HaKol, Levado Yimlok Noram, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Oveh, Ve'hu Yeh Tivara,
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, da 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 da.
Ve'hu echad ve'ein sheli lehamshir lo, lehamshir lo lehachbiram. Beli reshit beli tallit, ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamizram, ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali, ve'tzulchem li beit Sarah, ve'hu nisi. Menad kosi beyom ekram.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra, Ve'ein Nasa, Ve'hefzal kol,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Beyado Avkid Ruchi, Ve'tishan Ve'a'ira, Ve'imruchi, Keviyati, Adonai li velo ira.
Da 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 da. Everybody,
Ya da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Shabbat Shalom.